everybody. Welcome to Variety Talk Live from Las Vegas. I am your host, Linda Leak, and welcome to the show. Today, we're faced with challenges and opportunities and circumstances that we thought we'd never ever have to face, which is actually shutting down the entire country because of a pandemic. And we want to begin, first of all, by just letting everyone know out there that this too shall pass, and making sure that we ask for everyone to just try to remain in peace and calmness and love and togetherness in terms of helping one another. And also just everybody staying safe and recognizing that if we perhaps follow all the cleanliness guidelines, which is what we're supposed to do anyway, that perhaps we can lessen the amount of people who actually will suffer from this pandemic. And so I just wanted to take the time out to talk a little bit about that, and also to just bring us up to date as far as where we are. One state which is pretty much we consider a suburb of Las Vegas, Nevada, which is the entire state of California, has been mandatorily shut down by the governor yesterday. And here in Las Vegas, I can see that everyone is doing a very excellent job of trying to stay off the streets and in their own homes, and keeping if you do have to go out, keeping that social gathering down to a minimum of, 20 people. It started out at 50 and then it went to 20. So that goes to show how even more serious that was. So thank you everybody for joining the show today. I'm sure all of you are at home, and many of you have more time now where you can sit back and actually do some inner reflections. And hey, watch us right here on Variety Talk Live. So thanks again for joining us. We're on a new channel, and we're very, very proud to be a part of this grand opening on this new channel. And so we're going to make sure that we flash those call letters out there within the next 2 or 3 segments. So what I want to do is just take a little time, because this is something that I don't normally do, but it's so important. My goodness, it's so important that I can't even begin to. In the history of my life, I've never seen an entire city or country shut down. I've never seen an entire the entire world go through what we're going through. We're trying to proact here to make sure that we shut things down so that we're not like other countries who can't handle all of the numbers and problems that are happening right now. So let's just talk a little bit about statistics here. Right now, at this point, there are 40 million residents in California who have been asked to stay home, as we mentioned earlier, and that is actually so that to proact and keep the virus in control. This is something that everybody said that they didn't expect to do, but what can you say? Now, Nevada has already reached 95 cases already, 95 cases. So we're already on the movement. I explained to somebody that in a way this is sort of like snow flurries. So in other words, we're expecting the storm, but it just hasn't gotten here. It's just flurries right now. So that's why if everybody will continue to maintain the position of proacting, then we hopefully may be in much better shape. So okay, so that's 95 cases already. Let's see, people in the 30s and 60s have tested positive at the highest rate. Okay, and Nevada casinos, the casinos, let's see, closures impact 206,000 workers. So that is just I mean, I've only been in Nevada for, come on, let's see, 3 years at this point, going on four. But out of all the times I've been in Southern California, which has been decades, and I visit here quite often, I've never in my life experienced the actual casinos being shut down. So again, the severity of what's taking place is really pretty interesting. Italy's death toll overtakes China as the virus spreads even more. So those numbers have surpassed China's. How can that even happen? But it has. All right. So McConnell's plan for the crisis proposes payments of $1,200. So it's pretty amazing to everybody in terms of what we are dealing with. The McCarran air that we've had a positive test at McCarran Airport. So now they're talking about closures there. More than 100 airline flights were canceled Thursday. So it's just been kind of crazy, you guys. All right, all about the COVID 19. So that's really just giving you an idea of where we're standing right now at this point. All right, so uh, just had to do that. That's something we normally do not do, but when we come back, we'll have an opportunity to go back into our normal show. And we decided that since everybody's at home and you've been going through an awful lot, just stressful mentally, physically, economically, we thought we'd take some time today and make sure that we just give you an opportunity to hear some wonderful music, relax, and be entertained. All right, so this is our entertainment day, and when we come back, you'll have an opportunity to meet a gentleman who has initiated hip hop. I know everybody remembers the Sugar Hill Gang and that song, a hip hip hop to the heavy to the heavy to the hip hip hop, you don't stop. Anyway, this gentleman has an awful lot to do with that song. He is almost like the godfather in the introduction of hip hop. All right, so when we come back, you'll get a chance to meet him. We'll see you in a minute. You're watching Variety Talk live from Las Vegas. Again, I am your host, Linda Leak. We'll see you in a moment.
T-shirts, everybody wears them, everybody loves them. But now there's a shirt company that stands out above all the rest. A clothing company with positive and inspirational messages in the form of quotes. G-Quote Apparel. The quality and feel of the material is beyond anything you've experienced in any other shirt. Who but G-Quote Apparel would care enough to create casual to workout wear while inspiring your mind and soul? Visit them online at gquoteapparelcompany.com. Also note that any questions can be submitted to info@gquoteapparelcompany.com. G-Quote, the company with positive messages for those that know their worth.
Everybody, we're back. Welcome back to the show. You're watching Variety Talk live from Las Vegas. I'm your host, Linda Leak, and as promised, this part of our show will be all about entertainment, making sure that we just do what? Relax, okay? Um, Everybody's got a lot of decisions to make in terms of where they're going, what they're going to do when the businesses open back up. No one knows exactly the exact time. And so everybody's on the edge of their seats right now. So hopefully this will be something that we can help you while you're at home. Just relax and uh, enjoy the entertainment. All right, so without further ado, I'd like to introduce someone who is one of the forefathers of the hip hop culture. This gentleman is an artist, developer extraordinaire, and his accolades go on and on and on. So, why don't we give you an opportunity to hear from him yourself? And without further ado, I'd like to introduce the man himself, G Man.
Hey, what's going on with you? How you doing, Miss Lee?
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show, G Man. How are you?
Hey, I'm blessed. I'm blessed by the best with no stress.
Yes, you are. So let's begin, first of all, by finding out where are you and how are you faring throughout all of this?
Well, I'm right now. I'm in New Orleans. Just left California, Ontario, California, doing a performance and appearance, and flew into Houston, Texas. I shot the video for my new first solo single, and I'm excited about that, which is going through editing. I released the song. The song been released now for, I guess it'd be like 24 hours, roughly 24, 48 hours around that time frame. It's been released, and I'm just excited. I'm just excited to be back in the culture that I named and started in the beginning.
Well, as you should. And I'm going to ask you an open ended question because you did such an eloquent job in sharing with me how you began and your impact that you made on hip hop, especially and including the Sugar Hill Gang. So, why don't you get us started with that?
Well, going back in the very beginning of me being a part of this hip hop culture and actually naming it hip hop, I started rapping and rhyming free nursery rhymes in 1973 as a 10 and a half, 11-year-old kid. A lot of people that know me over the decades didn't even know who I really was because I believe in God's timing. It's His timing, not mine. So I stayed in my lane through all my endeavors in the entertainment industry and in business as a whole. And a lady approached me and just asked me what was I doing. I was like saying little nursery rhymes, and I had a single mom, and there was 13 of us kids in the house. You know what I mean, including cousins and a bunch of people that my mom, was raising and taking care of. And with this household, what I mean, and back in them days, times was rough in Brooklyn, New York. So I indulged in going to working at a little part-time place to make a few coins, a few dollars, which was basically at a fruit stand and a fish market per se. So a lady approached me and she heard me saying nursery rhymes because that's how had my time passing, and I was going through the spiritual awareness that I didn't realize at that young age, not understanding who was talking to me while I was having visions and little dreams, because I was always told I was born with a veil on my face, and I always talked about from a biblical perspective. So my mother,
Oh, you were born
my,
with the veil on your face. I've
yes,
always
ma'am.
heard that that was very special.
Yeah, I didn't understand it at the time. As I got older, I became more aware of the gift that I was blessed with. So my mom explained to me who Jesus was and who God was, and I started really grabbing hold to what's going on in my life. So I was at this little fruit stand, and I'm doing what we now know as freestyling, because that voice was always telling me to think into the future. So I didn't understand what he was talking about. So I realized that thinking into the future as I got older was freestyling. That's saying a rhyme, contemplating other rhymes while still thinking of other rhymes to come. So that's thinking into the future. So the lady heard me doing these nursery rhymes, and she asked me would I repeat it or would I do it for her again. So I did it again for her. She was somewhat impressed. I didn't know who she was. I didn't even know the vehicle that she pulled up in was a Rolls Royce. I'm in Brooklyn. I just know I never seen nothing like the car or the elegance of this African American woman that stepped out of the car. So long story short, she asked me would I come to her studio, which I don't know what that was, and would I do it for her? So, and she said she would pay me. So I said, yeah, that's exciting. I was like, I could, a little bit of a few dollars for my family. So I went home and I told my mom, I asked her, and she told me no because I was too young. But back then, I cut school on that following Friday and got on the train because we had to sneak on the trains, and I went up to where the lady told me to meet him at. I went up there and they took me into this room in this building and had me, saying some of the nursery rhymes, and lo and behold, I didn't know that they was recording it at the time. I didn't know that. So they said they was going to pay me, and I didn't. They said, never mind, you ain't even got to do it. I didn't know they was recording me, so they already got what they wanted. So she said, I'm not going to pay you what I promised you. So I was like, I knew this was some, crap or whatever. What the lady told me was, I'm going to double what I told you I was going to pay you. So I almost fell off the floor. Fell off my feet. And she lifted up a cover off just a little piece of cloth over some stacks of money. So I was like, she was like, this is yours. I said, this is all mine? She said, yeah. So they gave me a bag to put it in. Right now, I wish I could have transported right back home, because I wanted to get that. But anyway, I got back home. They dropped me back off at the train station where they picked me up from, the bus took me to the train station. And I got back on the train, of course, went back home put that money on my mom's bed, took that behind whooping because she was one of those, if you disobedient, you're gonna get retribution. So she tore me up. You know what I mean? And I accepted it. But hindsight, the money did help the family. You know, food. It even helped us get another place to stay. You know what I mean? So it worked out in the long run, except for the person talking in my ear when I was having these little dreams and stuff told me to wait, and that it was too fast and to an aggressive form of expression for our people at the time. So, lo and behold, I know that what was going on because it went sour. Hip hop went sour real quick, and and to go into how it started and how I even came up with the name. See, back in the '70s, in 1973, and through '75, we was breakdancing, pop locking, ticking, writing and graffiti, rapping and rhyming. Now we didn't have hip hop beats and unless we used to beat on table, chairs, desks, the gates on stores, windows, and to create and empty buckets to create our own rhythms
So
to
what you're saying is
freestyle.
that was a very natural thing in the neighborhood where everybody just did it, and little did anybody know that somebody came along and coined the term hip hop. So tell us about what happened in the neighborhood about how people were making music in the neighborhood.
Well, it was people from different boroughs and different. They all was going to the same school. People would bust in, and they started having people from out of other neighborhoods come and attain the same schools. So where the word hip came from, because we were so popular. We was popular in the parks, in the block parties, in the basements, in the garages, in the backyards. We were just popular everywhere we went. So the older people would throw they right fist in the air and ball it up and turn it outward and say right on, telling us, letting us know and saying, you hip, little shorty, you hip, y'all hip. And so that's where the terminology hip come from. The terminology hop come from because we was poor inner city kids. We didn't have, all this luxury that some of these kids got now. We had to sneak on the trains to go to cipher meetings, so we had to hop over the turnstiles to go to the cipher meeting. So that's where the terminology hip hop comes from. You know what I mean? So, and people get the misunderstanding, then they try to make it bigger than what it really was. It was a simple thing because us kids were doing it, not the adults. Us kids could not get in the clubs and promote it and make it a business, so they got older people who can take our culture, if you will, and go into clubs and make it a business where they can create money and finances behind that. So they took it from us kids. So long story short, when you become a hip hop head or a hip hop artist or a hip hop person, understand that us forefathers created that line and that some of y'all don't even know about, that is eating and living very well off of the stuff that us kids created. There was no such thing as a hip-hop DJ in 1973 and 75 because hip-hop wasn't even fully established as a culture, and to keep it 100, turntables didn't even spin backwards. They was playing 45 records, and you can check your history to find out the truth. So when people get up there and say they did it because they was a DJ, no, we ain't no such thing as hip-hop DJs because we wouldn't have had to be beating on stuff to create our own rhythms. And it couldn't have been a funk band that came from the islands who was already in existence that came over here and converted to the hip-hop culture. So a lot of people that saying stuff is not telling the truth. You know what I mean? So the truth is time to come out. It's time for it to come out and somebody to tell them what's really been going on.
Okay. All right. Well, that is very important. And the reason why it's important is because at this point, the industry has changed so much, and hip hop has become a universal language throughout all cultures. Um, and it has actually shut down rock and roll radio stations, and the amount of people who are listening to jazz or R&B versus hip hop has decreased, and so
And
therefore,
it has all but wiped out musicians because now that everything is electronic and computerized, musicians are sometimes not used. And I'm here to help bring that back by adding that into the show. Real musicians, you know what I mean, and real singers, not just the hip hop artists. using auto tunes and using sounds on their voices to make them sound like they can really sing.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
some of them can't,
yeah,
but
absolutely.
we have to have these artists that sing and play instruments come back to the fold.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we are almost out of time. Why don't we try to get to a little so the family, because we're going to have you back on a series, and this is part one of the series, hip hop entitled. Let's just call it hip hop. And let's move forward a little bit and tell us a little bit about how you went from hip hop recording artist to a bodyguard and actually work with the Jackson family. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh man, it came natural. I was a natural protective, especially my family. It's like I had a bunch of sisters. Oh my goodness, and a house full of women. You gotta, and you're a little young man. You gotta kind of protect your sisters. That's where it comes from, protecting the family. From what's going on out there and people that coming in the wrong way. And I had a real insight to stuff. So I became a bodyguard. I was trained by the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines to be a close quarters bodyguard, not just a bodyguard, a close quarters. I'm that last line of defense before something can happen to you. If I'm protecting, if they get past all the lines of defense that we got, then I'm the last person that they got to get through, which is going to be almost hard. It's going to be real hard because I was very methodic in how I did that. And some nights I have to protect the client. Have them in their quarters safe while I'm opening up the show and ripping the show. You know what I mean? With all the songs and the groups and the companies that I was a part of, because I was in another group too called Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. I was his hype man and his living bodyguard as well. And that was hits like It Takes Two, Joy and Pain, Get on the Dance Floor. You know what I mean? Outstanding. All these little things that them songs and the pieces that I was a part of, and not to mention a part of the Sugar Hill family, and signed by Joey Robinson Jr. After years of me coming up, I end up going back and being signed back to them without them even knowing who I was. Just signed under another name, MC Friction, to Joey Robinson Jr. to Bone and Me Records. So when I say formerly of the Sugar Hill family, I'm not lying. I was signed to Joey Robinson Jr. to Bone and Me Records, who was under the umbrella of Sugar Hill Records, who is a part of the Sugar Hill family. So so I'm telling the truth. You know what I mean?
Okay,
But
let
being a
me ask you
bodyguard, I've
this:
done it all. I protected.
you've been in the business for quite some time, and and that's what you're sharing with us. Your initiation at the very infancy of hip hop, and you're still in it at this point now. Even though in between your career you've done bodyguard work for the Jacksons, you've done catering, but I want to bring you back to the question about the what is this magnetism that the entire world, not the country, but the world has with hip hop that makes it so unique, so outstanding that it has crossed um, nationalities, it's crossed races, it's crossed creeds, and it has just become the number one music in the world. What's going on with that?
And I did a consensus too. This is relevant. A lot of the people that I've bodyguard, from Morris Chestnut to to the Jacksons, to the list go on and on. Mickey Howard, Vivica Fox, and all of the people that I've done certain things. I've asked certain questions to them. Kelly Price, all of them, and asked them things like that. And what it boils down to in my cipher meaning getting something out of cipher, not passing the mic around. Let's get that clear. What I ciphered out of the whole situation was that it's a freedom of speech on a level that wasn't even thought of. It was like you can most companies and organizations and they're selling their product using hip hop one way or another. It has done changed the way people dress, the way people walk, the way people talk. You know what I mean? Their swag, everything. Hip hop has been embedded in stuff, and people was telling me when I was younger, this will never last. It's just a fad. It's just a fad. But I've seen a lot of things come and go. But I've seen hip hop come and grow.
I have to concur with that. I have to concur with that, and that was why I had such a question, because it has put everybody out of business. So
That God
we're
is in
almost
that.
out of time, and we want to make sure that we get your guest in. So, but before we do that, we're going to take a quick station break and tell us quickly about your single.
All right, the single it's like kind of a tribute to Michael Jackson because people miss him. I wrote this song over almost 20 years ago. I did when he first passed. I was in Gary, Indiana. I was a part of the memorial for him when he passed, with his dad and them all being there. So I'm very astute in what I'm doing. This song is kind of like to remember him, and it was a song that I listened to years ago. When I was younger, called "I Want to Be Where You Are," and that had Michael Jackson and the Jackson Five on it. So Mike is where I want to be where Mike was in a creative perspective, in his the mindset that he is. He always, and he told me personally, G-Man, they don't see you coming. Barry White told me that verbatim. Shirley Caesar told me that verbatim. They don't see you coming. And thinking about it, who didn't want to be in Michael Jackson's mind, that creative song, when he told me, G-Man, always reinvent yourself. So I took that song and I call it "Be Where You Are." Like if you miss a loved one, it's a metaphor for that. If where you at spiritually, I want to be on that level. You know what I mean? Where the business is and where it's going, I want to be where you are.
All
You know what I
right,
mean?
and we're gonna break right there. So everybody, we're gonna introduce right here on Variety Talk Live from Las Vegas, "Be Where You Are" by G-Man himself, and we
The
will be
original
right back.
G-Man of hip hop.
Some people is that they just don't know how to express themselves. So allow this triple OG to put things in perspective for you. With a little bit of help from my people down in the Midwest. Yes, sir. That town. Major. Excuse me, little mommy, but I like to get to know you better. See, you kinda busy, so I guess I send a letter. If the letter don't work, then I guess I'll approach it. If you can't socialize, I guess I coach you. Cause G-Man is far from the average knucklehead. I don't wanna spend most of my time in bed, but in case I have to get hard, I get hard like lead. And the proof is in the pudding, that's what my mom said. Baby, I stayed away too long. And as you did, I leave your mind when I was gone. We gon' get this right. I just wanna be. I just wanna be. Girl, I just wanna be. G-Man ain't no great thing. I just wanna be.
No matter what state, I put you in good hands just like Allstate. Wine and dine, we eating on fine plates. I treat you like a superstar, lines with no weight. You like good time, let's just push rewind. Sipping good wine, my game not denied. We live in the sky, the haters live on the ground. No sex rules up in the cloud. Ow.
Baby, I stayed away too long. And as you did, I leave your mind when I was gone. I just wanna be. I just wanna be. Girl, I just wanna be. I just wanna be.
Sexy, you're so classy. Take you to my crib, get nasty. I'm a cowboy, you a big girl. Take a round trip, just a rocket world. Like shake, wobble, wobble, shake, shake, billion mama. Don't need a bag, shopping sprees of Bahamas. Roll with a king, it don't cost you $1. Eat that candy, watch it bust, pinatas.
Baby, I stayed away too long. And as you did, I leave your mind when I was gone. I just wanna be. I just wanna be. Girl, I just wanna be. I just wanna be.
Yeah, you like that big boy drip. Grown man created with that big boy whip. Whip the cap international, flip the whole script. Space ages on my dip, the whole ship. Put it on the tip, let me see how it grip. Put it on your lip and let your neck slip. Cap pillar, the thriller in Manila. Silverback gorilla, still put it in your liver.
Baby, I stayed away too long. And as you did, I leave your mind when I was gone. I just wanna be. wanna be. Girl, I just wanna be. I just wanna be.
Hi, everybody. We're back, and that was, I'm telling you, just a very, very, very lovely song by Mr. G Man himself, Be Where You Are, and in honor of the Mr. Michael Jackson. And why? Because he spent a little time with the Jackson family. What an honor. So, listen, we are almost out of time, but we couldn't close out this segment without making sure we introduce someone that is near and dear to your
Miss
heart.
Linda.
And
Miss
why?
Linda.
Because you understand this spiritual battle, this spiritual warfare that we are all going through and suffering within, even at this point, as everyone continues to deal with the best way they can the coronavirus epidemic that is taking place right now nationwide. So, we have someone speaking of health and wellness and trying to get better. Someone who is not only just a practitioner on a physical level, but on a spiritual level as well. And that's how you two have come together. So why don't you introduce your guest and let us know a little bit about her level of health and wellness.
Yes, this is Miss Jasmine Smith, and I'm very spiritual because G-Man stands for God's man, and I'm the original G-Man in hip hop because there's so many different people out there call themselves G-Man, but G-Man stands for God's man, and the G is for God, and the dash between the G and the M is the bridge between God and man. And when you find people in your life that is on the same spiritual level and can take you on an even higher level than you are spiritually and make you more aware, then you have to connect with them and stay connected with them. So I got a very special guest that's going to tell you exactly the levels of spirituality that there are for you and how you can become more healthier as well as more spiritual. Miss Jasmine Smith, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you so much,
Welcome to
G-Man.
the
And
show. Welcome to the show, Jazia. How are you?
thank you so much. I'm amazing. I'm doing amazing.
Good,
How are
good.
you?
So your title, intuitive beauty, and beauty. Give us your full title.
So I go by Intuitive Beauty because my line of work professionally was doing hair and makeup, and I asked God, to guide me um, into my purpose, which got me the title Intuitive Beauty. So
Okay.
I'm also a healer.
Well. First of all, that's pretty awesome right there. Just to be able to connect with the Father and have Him guide you into your name. So that's pretty awesome right there. Now you also are into meditation, healing, the whole gamut. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So me and the original G Man of hip hop, we connected on a level of us both being very spiritual beings. So we started talking about our spirituality and what's going on in the world right now. And I strongly agreed with his views and his opinion on it. And I expressed to him whom I was. So with holistic living, meditation, me being a healer, I offer intuitive readings. I do meditation sessions with clients, and I feel like it's very important right now because everybody's in a state of fear and panic. And I believe we're all going through a spiritual awakening and purging our fears and things that have been holding us back from being authentic, our authentic selves.
Beautiful. Very, very, very beautiful. Well, I believe so too, Jazzia. And I've been back and forth trying to decide whether I was going to share something with the Variety Talk family on this channel. I actually did post it on Facebook because I'm still floored and amazed, and God is amazing. And throughout this time, I believe it's a spiritual awakening as well. I believe that we can actually take these lemons and turn them into lemonade. I believe that we have been confronted with so much darkness. I mean, these times have been unbelievable, that perhaps this downtime will at least give everyone an opportunity to reflect, and to consider doing something a little better and look for the good in all that's taking place. And I want you two to hang on at the end, because I'm going to show the family something that took place with me yesterday, and I'm still trying to process it. And I'm thrilled. I'm floored. I can't believe God is as magnificent as He is. So I welcome you to the show with your refreshing uh, ideas and language in regards to health and wellness and meditation and healing and all of the things that we need, because we really, really do need the healing. So we're not going to have a whole lot of time because we are just so out of it. Give us your phone number and how the audience can reach you to get more information about your services.
Thank you so much. So in order to book a private session with me, sessions can be one-on-one, or they can be over the phone or virtually done. You can reach me at intuitivebeauty@gmail.com. You can find me on YouTube, Intuitive Beauty. That's BEAUTE. So beauty ends with an E. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and you can check me out on those different outlets to see the proper booking or send me a message. A phone number to reach me at for a personal session is 832-287-7713.
All right, wonderful. Well, Jazzia, thanks for joining us. We have to have you back where we can get more information and even some demos about how you work and how everything works. And G-Man, Mr. Hip Hop G-Man, you know that this has to be a part 3 series, because we just got a tip of the iceberg from you. But we definitely want to say thank you again for joining us. And I want you to you can't hang on the phone line because we're bringing someone else on, but I want you to make sure that you check out the end of this episode, because I have something to show everybody that ties right into what you're talking about. So you guys remain in the light, and thank you again for joining the show and bringing all of the refreshing information and news and music to the world, so that everybody
and let them know that the new single is available everywhere. iTunes is available. The new single is out. It's everywhere right now on all the music outlets. You can go online and Google it, and you can find that song. Google the original G-Man, and the new single is Be Where You Are. Letter B, capitalize the word where, the capitalize U, capitalize R. Be Where You Are.
All right, beautiful. Well, thank you again and again, G-Man and Jazzia, and you guys stay safe, stay healthy, stay inside, and we will see you again very, very soon.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
Love, peace, and
Everyone, you're watching Variety Talk Live from Las Vegas. I'm your host, Linda Leak, and we'll be back in one moment.
Crazy Terry here with your car care tip of the day. Today's tips on cooling systems. This vehicle's got about 182,000 miles on it, so if you're checking the coolant, check the hoses too. Just feel them and see if they're soft or any signs of fatigue for the mileage on it. They don't feel bad. They look like they're still the original hose, but you want to make sure you don't go too long with these hoses, because they will eventually deteriorate, cause a problem. In this case, this car's got a visible leak. The customer brought it to us. We'll pop the hood and check the cooling system. First, we just relieve any pressure that might be on the cap. Remove the cap. Take a look inside. We see it's kind of low. Now we'll start our inspection. What we found on this one is the top tank is leaking. It's got a crack in it. Pretty common for these plastic radiators to do that. I want to get to a shop right away, because severe engine damage can result from overheating condition like this. In this case, it was pretty easy to see the crack was right on the top tank, but a lot of times we'll have to pressurize the system to locate the exact leak. Could be a hose in the back, could be underneath. Some of these are hard to find, but in this case, a very common leak, the top tank. When we're testing a cooling system, it's okay to use just water, but you want to make sure when you're filling it up properly, it's a 50-50 mix of antifreeze and water. It needs the water to make the chemical work, so don't just put straight antifreeze. 50-50 mix is the best way to go. Keep it clean, keep it rust-free. So as you can see, we got a pretty active leak. We got to get this fixed, or there's going to be some engine problems. If you're going to top off your own coolant, it's really not that hard. If you got a radiator cap, just make sure it's not hot. Take the cap off and take a look. In this case, we're pretty full here, but what we have is the overflow jugs empty. So we'll just add that. Once again, check your manufacturer's specs to make sure what type of coolant you have. In this case, we're using the good old green. There's gold, there's red, there's yellow, all types out there. Just want to make sure you're staying with your manufacturer recommended coolant. And that's really all there is to it. The cooling system is a major component. You'll want to service that regularly. If you have a problem, it could be too late and cost you thousands of dollars. If ever you have a problem, come into Sun Valley Automotive. It's no charge to look at your cooling system. This is Crazy Terry with your car care tip of the day.
We're back. You're watching Variety Talk live from Las Vegas. I'm your host, Linda Leak. And again, I hope that you're all resting, relaxing, and enjoying our entertainment day, where we're actually featuring the artist G-Man in a hip-hop segment. And we're also going to, since, we've got so many people who are in entertainment that go out, you either purchase your own music or you buy and sell, you go out and you might need old music, you might need new music, whatever it is. But the conversation that we had earlier with G-Man in terms of how the industry is changing and nothing is the same anymore in music, well, the same thing holds for the record stores out there. So it's my honor to be able to bring on I guess almost probably a 30-year establishment, family-owned business that has worked so hard that they are a very unique establishment where any and all of you who are out there searching for specific music can go to. So I just can't wait to bring them on. It's not only do they have the kind of music that you want or that you're looking for, but the customer service and the kindness just oozes out of these people. They're just absolutely fabulously wonderful. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on the representative for Record City, and his name is Infinite. Infinite, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being patient. We went a little overboard on our first segment, but we're so happy to have you come on and represent the Variety Talk show with what you guys are doing. So, Infinite, first of all, as I mentioned, I don't know if you were part of the heard that first part that I spoke about record stores not really being as popular, of course, and rarely in existence. So to be able to find a record location, I know that there's another record store I won't mention here in Las Vegas, and there's probably a few, I've seen like at least 2 or 3 locations around the city. So there's still some here. But just as Capitol Records has gone away and other record labels have sort of disappeared because the entire way music is done is so different. Tell us about Record City and what makes you so different, besides the fact that you're still standing as a record store.
Yes, I would say what makes Record City different will probably especially be the customer service.
Absolutely.
We place a real high importance on that because, especially as you mentioned, in times that we're in, a lot of people are streaming, they're online, and that's what makes record stores stand out is when a person walks in, they feel like they're part of a community.
Yes, yes. Now, tell us what you do specifically. Do you buy and sell records, pretty much? So people may come in and they may be looking for something all the way back in from 1972, and so if you don't have it, you can actually purchase it from somewhere and bring it in for them. Or if somebody can come in with some old music and sell it to you and you buy it. How does that work?
Okay, so speaking of that, the way that most of our inventory is attained is actually from walk-ins. A lot of people have collections still, and as we see the economy changing here and people buying houses and stuff, a lot of people are letting go of their collections. So we're just able to get in tons and tons of inventory. So even if we don't have something that somebody's looking for, we're also able to, like you mentioned before, we're able to order it as well. You know.
Nice. Very, very nice. Well, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense, because when you don't have that luxury to be able to reach out, and I mean, and so many people are mixing their music. They're doing so many things with music right now. So to be able to have that accessible to the customer is really important. Now tell us, how long have you guys been around? I kind of threw that number out there and said something like 30 years. How long has the business been around?
Yes, that is right. We've been around for 30 years now in the Valley.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That is amazing. And where are you located besides Las Vegas? And where in Las Vegas are you located?
Okay, so in Las Vegas we have 2 locations. We have one on 300 East Sahara, and that is on Sahara right before you get to Paradise. It's kind of near the Strip. And we also have another location here off of Charleston, on the east side of town.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. So, and I understand that a person there in the store won an award for the best customer service. So that just goes to show what separates uh, Record City from any other record store or any other establishment, for that matter. That your customer service is so great that you actually won an award for it. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations. So now, uh, basically, we want to talk a little bit about price. Can you give us an idea of what everybody will be spending when they come in there? Is it competitive? Is it discounted? What are your prices like?
Our prices are actually very competitive because, as I mentioned before, with people buying a lot of things online, what separates a good record store is that you're very competitive with the online prices, sometimes even less. Because that if somebody could just buy it online, they could, but when you have competitive prices, that really just allows people to get the item they're looking for at a price that they want.
Okay. All
You
right.
know.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you like best about working there, Infinity?
My favorite part about working here is it's really the customers, because it's something special when somebody walks in, they're looking for a certain album and we have it, and you just see the joy on their face. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it just
Absolutely.
it just feels like somebody you're part of something. You're part of somebody starting a memory, or you're part of an experience for somebody. Really.
Absolutely. Well, I would have to say what I love best about you is that you're the best of the best of the best. Price, product, programs. You guys do an awesome, awesome job. And I'm extremely proud to have you represented right here on Variety Talk. And we're going to make sure we have you back on our entertainment days in the future, so everybody can know, because we got everybody in all sorts of aspects of the industry literally watching the show, and there's so many of them that can use products that you have. So we're going to make sure that we keep you posted. And John, are we going to be able to run their address there at the bottom of the screen? Absolutely. Okay, so good. Everybody will know where to come. And so, Variety Talk family, make sure you check out the information at the bottom of the screen, and get over and support these wonderful people who've been around for what? 30 years. And that is not by accident. All right, so Infinity, we're going to let you go. And we just want to say thank you again just for being the patient person that you are in the midst of this storm that we're in. How are you faring with everything?
We're doing pretty good. We're trying to remain positive. We assured our customers on, because we actually have a Facebook page too, Record City Las Vegas, So through that, we've showed our customers everything is good, and we're basically just pricing through inventory and getting ready to continue servicing our customers.
Well, that's wonderful. And both you and Stacy have a beautiful patience about yourself. She's very calm throughout this shutdown with the businesses. So everybody needs to make sure, as we're sitting around watching this show, when the governor's lifted up and it's time to go shopping again, make sure you make a beeline to where Record City. We're going to go ahead and let you go. And again, thanks for joining us. Please thank Stacy for us. And
Yes, absolutely.
thank Joey as well. He's a great representative too. And you did a fantastic job, Infinity. So listen, everybody, you're watching Variety Talk Live from Las Vegas. We have got to take another break. And when we come back, just some closing words about this whole coronavirus deal and my special surprise that took place in the midst of the storm. We'll be right back.
T-shirts, everybody wears them, everybody loves them. But now there's a shirt company that stands out above all the rest. A clothing company with positive and inspirational messages in the form of quotes. G-Quote Apparel. The quality and feel of the material is beyond anything you've experienced in any other shirt. Who but G-Quote Apparel would care enough to create casual to workout wear while inspiring your mind and soul? Visit them online at gquoteapparelcompany.com. Also note that any questions can be submitted to info@gquoteapparelcompany.com. G-Quote, the company with positive messages for those that know their worth.
All right, everybody, we're back with very little time to close out our show. Thank you to my guest, Mr. G-Man. I appreciate you so much. And thank you, Record City, for being such humble sponsors of our show. And just some quick information, everybody, on the COVID-19. All right, first of all, the global confirmed cases, 272,167. Total deaths were 11,299. Recovered 87,403. Those are just a few statistics. The U.S. confirmed cases 19,101 so far. Total deaths 19,000, everybody, and we're just in the beginning of it. Let me clarify this: 19,000 cases, 244 deaths. Okay, and total recovered from this are 147 so far. Okay, the staffer for Vice President Mike Pence tested positive for the virus. The stocks closed down, logs worst week for all three major indexes since 2008. And Illinois, my home state, issues a stay-at-home order for 13 million residents. New York mandates all non-essential workers to stay home. So that just gives you an idea, and I'm telling you, I was on my way to Chicago just so I can get the heck out of this and go home, but I guess I can't do that at this point. We're only 3-4 days into this whole brand new deal. So, and I understand that the airports are about to shut down, so pretty serious. Now, as far as moving forward, some things that we can do. Distancing supposedly slows the spread of the COVID-19. So, we're a loving nation, but unfortunately we got to kind of give each other a little space, all right? The virus spreads mainly through coughs and sneezes, all right? You'll help to protect essential resources for the sickest patients by way of just going along with that. How to stay connected. Stay connected online. Have a dinner party over video chat. Host an online book club, check in with friends, and acknowledge the stress. Know that any anxiety and fear is normal. All right, talk to other people about your feelings and take breaks from the news. Definitely take breaks from the news, but not from Variety Talk. All right, now, John, drum roll. I mean, we have got to put this up, everybody, because speaking of spirituality, speaking of a brand new era that we in, it seems like it's the worst of the worst, but actually it's a dawning of a new day for all of us, depending on how we handle this situation that we're in. So here it is. 2 days ago, no, Yeah, 2 days ago, I had someone ask me for my bio, my picture, and some other things, and I went through my files and I found a picture that I had taken back near Christmas and never ever noticed. I never even really looked at the picture. I just, one of those selfies you take, and I just didn't really bother with it. And I pulled it out for him to send it off to him, and lo and behold, boom! Put up the picture, John. Can you imagine? So everybody, have you ever heard of that statement? There's an angel on my shoulder. This literally is an angel on my shoulders, and I can't begin to tell you. Something like this is very personal. Whenever I deal with matters of spirituality and God and the heart, it's usually a very personal thing. But I took the time to share this because it's absolutely mind blowing to me what I saw. I believe in the reality of what I'm seeing here on this picture, and it's clearly an angel as far as I'm concerned. And so I know that God allowed me to see this picture so that I could actually and why it was I happened to find it and see this right on the day that we had the national shutdown. Okay, something that we've never had before. So this is my opportunity to share with you hope, hope that angels do exist, a higher power exists. There's somebody somewhere right there that is watching over you and helping all of us through everything that we're going through. So the message, you're never alone. Anyway, everyone, thank you so very much for joining us right here on Variety Talk. My heart goes out to all of you. My love goes out to all of you. Let us stay healthy. Let us stay loving. And let us stay indoors, okay? All right, take care. And until next time, God bless.